First video after the rebrand, let's make a radial menu. Alright, so if you didn't know this, the rebrand, this is the business name I registered back in February, and it's the name that I've made, that my game is under, over on Steam. Don't know why I just changed up there, but radial menu, let's go ahead and create it. This is going to be its own class, that way we can come in and we can tweak the values, such as the size of our items, the size of our radial background, and if you want, you can come in and go ahead and change the colors of all of this, right? Whatever you're feeling. And it's all going to update live. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump in and take a look at what it is and how to set this up. So I'll even expand that out so you can, there's no way that you're going to miss any of the code here. So this is obviously a tool script because we want it to run in the editor. It's got a class name radial menu, so we can just add this to any scene at any point. Export items, for me, I'm using a dictionary with a string and texture. You, of course, could just use an array of an item class if you have that, or resources, whatever you wanted to use here. I'm just using a string and texture, that way you can easily see it. In this case, we're using them as commands, right? Attack, and it has a texture to represent that. Defend with a texture to represent that. Run, and so on. Magic, items, right? All of these exported variables are going to be the same thing. They have a set, and obviously we set the variable equal to the value that is being set to, and we just call our function called rebuild. And rebuild is actually what's building out the menu for us. But we'll go ahead and run through. We've got radius. That is a float, and that's going to be the radius for the actual items, the circular range of the items. Then we have our the start angle degree. So the degree that we want our first item to start at in our circle. We have the background color, the background radius, so we can control the circle of our background, right? Whether you want that to be bigger than the items to make sure everything's encompassed inside, or maybe you want it smaller, whatever you want. Then I just have one in here for my item size. So all my items can be set to the same. Now, Godot doesn't have any way of linking the X and Y value. So what I've done is I've just gone ahead, instead of setting item size equal to value, item size is being set to a vector to a value.x and value.x. So the Y isn't going to affect anything, and if we change the X, the Y is going to change with it. And then we just have an array of texture buttons, which is basically just going to handle all the buttons inside of our our radial menu. Okay, so our main function here is rebuild. What we're going to do here, we're going to call clear, and this is our own function that's just going to get rid of everything. We're going to check if items is empty, then we can redraw and return. Right, so if we have no items, then we can set up a few variables. So keys, the count, count to get the amount of items that we have. The center, I'm just going to go ahead and position it in the middle of the object or get the center of that. Get the angle step and starting angle, degrees to radians, of course, right? And now we can go ahead and go in. So for every, for the amount of items that we have, we're going to go in. We're going to get the item name. We're going to get that texture. If the texture is null, then we'll skip it and move to the next thing. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and create ourselves a new texture button. We'll set the normal texture to the texture that we have in there. We set ignore texture size to true. That way we can resize it. Stretch mode goes to keep aspect centered. That way the image stays centered, and we'll keep the aspect ratio of it, so we're not squashing and stretching it. The size is the item size that we set up top. We connect the press signal as an example here, and all we're doing is just going to bind the item name to it so we know what we're clicking on. and we add the button into our Radial menu. And we can append that button to our list of buttons. And then the last things here, we can get the angle, get the position, and we set the position of that button in our circle. And cube redraw. Now cube redraw is built in to this by default, so we don't have to worry about that. The clear function, like I mentioned earlier, we're just getting rid of all the buttons. So we got buttons that clear, and we just run through all of the buttons. If it's a valid instance, we free it. So we're getting rid of it. And draw function, this is here with all UI nodes here. So this is something that's built in. We get the center of our node or the center of our menu, and we draw a circle based on that center, the background radius, and the color that we selected. And here's the item pressed function that we connected that press signal to. Now all we're doing is just printing out the item so we know what we clicked on. Right, if you can pause at any point during that if you need to go back and take a look at it. And all we have to do now is we can just come in here and we can just add a new item. Let's say my mind just completely blanked on what we can put there, but let's go with combo, and we'll drag in the Godot icon, and we'll say add key value pair. Now we have another item in our list, and at any point we can just hit delete, and our menu is just going to constantly update for us. And once we're in game, whatever we click on, we're going to see it print out down here at the bottom. So we have our attack, defend, item, should be items. So that's my fault there. Magic, and run. So in my case, I have commands. For you, you could have, this could be a weapon select if you want. And you could take it a step further and you could do something such as, let's say, making the items glow, so you know when your mouse is over it. All right, so I've gone ahead and I just enabled the glow on this scene and connected the mouse entered and mouse exit signals. On exit, it'll just set it back to the modulate back to color white, and when our mouse enters, we'll set an intensity by taking the modulate and multiplying it by 2. So now when we mouse over our buttons, right? So now we can easily see what we're hovered over. So if you want a way to indicate what you're going to select in your game, it's a quick and easy way that you can go ahead and do it. But that's it. That's how you can do radial menus. And with that being a class, you can now just go into any of your scenes, search for radial menu, drop it in, and there you go. You can just start adding items in, and you're good to go. All right, that's it. Take care. Have yourselves a good one. I'll see you guys next time. And if you haven't, go ahead and check out my game over on Steam. Just went live. Get it now when there's a discount.